What is up there, everybody? Citrus Aviation here for yet another video, and today we have the Gemini Jets July 2023 model aircraft releases. So we're going to take a look at them here on their website. First, starting off with the single model that sold out from last month. No big surprise, the Trump 757 in 200 scale sold out. So I figured that would happen, and it did. So let's take a look here at what we have for July. And we'll get started with the Southwest, not Southwest, but Alaska Max 9. This one is in the Seattle Kraken livery. Not really one of interest for me, although, you know, I may pick it up from the Alaska company store for 20 bucks later on down the line. So, you know, that's always an option. Then we have an American Airlines Airbus 321 Neo. This one is 421 Uniform Whiskey. Good to see the 321 Neo get a re-release from Gemini that's been needed. Interestingly enough, the color does look a bit off on it. It kind of looks a little bit bluish gray. So hopefully they get the color right on the actual model, because they've had issues with that. And then we have two British Airways 777-200ER one-wolds. This is using the new mold, so it should be a very, very good model. Golf Yankee Mike Romeo is the registration of this one. So it should be a nice model there. And of course you can get flaps up or flaps down. Then we have two Delta models. We have the 717-200, November 998 Alpha Tango, an aircraft I walked on many times before on the ramp. An aircraft I'm very familiar with. It looks like they're even going to have this like red antenna detail here. I will buy the 200 scale version of this model as well. I am intimately familiar with this aircraft in significant ways, thanks to having walked on the ramp and all over this plane. And then we have the 767-300ER. The registration is November 1201 Papa. Pretty interesting aircraft here. Another 763 being released by Gemini. This is fairly typical territory for them, but it is one that I'm interested in. Then this is a cool model. Kalitta Charters 2 737-400. Can we have the other DHL versions? Because there are a ton of DHL versions of this aircraft with all the different operators. This will be a cool line. November 405 Charlie Kilo is the registration. Very cool model. Lufthansa A330-300. This is in the Diversity livery. Delta Alpha India Kilo Quebec. That's that one. Not one of interest to me. I have a regular Lufthansa 330. That's all I need. Southwest Max 8. This is in the Canyon Blue Retro. November 872 Charlie Bravo is the registration. Another cool model there. And then we have an interesting one. A Falco 100 by TAM Airways. We haven't seen any of the Falcos get made recently, but here we have one. Papa Tango Mike Romeo Alpha is the registration. Pretty cool. They're making a more obscure model, but one that I think for the people who want it will be really of interest. And finally, we have a United 767-400ER. This is the most exciting one from this release for me. November 69059 is the registration. I will definitely be picking this model up. This will be, for me, the one for solar model from this release set that I'll be picking up. Then we move on to 200 scale. We have an Aeromexico MD-82. Now, I posted this on my Instagram last night. It's the following morning. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do a video yesterday because just as the releases came out, I had to be at work. So, wasn't able to record it at all. But it is what it is. Someone on my Instagram pointed out, I didn't notice this at the time, but there's a little detail back here that's missing. I think you need engines to propel your airplane forward. It's just a, just a theory, but you might actually want to have an engine back there. November 1003 X-Ray is the registration, and it is an Aeromexico livery. Kind of cool livery here, with the orange and silver. Then we have an Air France Airbus 320. We saw this in 400 scale couple releases back. Foxtrot Hotel Echo Papa Foxtrot is the registration. Looks to be, it'll be a good model, better than the 400 version. And then we have another L180 Electra, but this is the first cargo one they're making. This is a Buffalo cargo. Charlie Golf Zulu Foxtrot Echo is the registration. A very interesting aircraft for a really unique company. And I think some of these still operate to this day, which is incredible. These 60-year-old airplanes still flying around, which is amazing. Condor A330-900 Neo. We've seen this in 400 scale. Now it shows up in 200 scale. Delta Alpha November Romeo Delta is the registration. This would be a popular release because, it's a modern aircraft. Then we have two of the same ones. This is the Copa Retro, and is offered in the flaps up and flaps down variant. Hotel Papa 1842 Charlie Mike Papa is the registration, and this model I assume will be quite popular. The retro livery looks quite nice on the 737-800, and I really like retros. I think they're awesome. Now, I did predict a new mold would come out. If you saw my Instagram or if you DM'd me asking what I thought it'd be, I said I thought we would see the interactive 767-300. This is one of the final models from that rumored leaked image that we saw of the JC Wings molds. The interactive MD11 was on there, the interactive 763 was on there, as well as a couple other molds we've already seen. The only one we haven't seen yet is what looked like an A300 or an A310 in 400 scale. Couldn't tell which it was. So it'll be exciting to see that come out, but the 767-300 interactive did come out as I predicted, and it's cool to see that. November 134 Foxtrot Echoes the registration. There's actually a good chance I pick up this model. It looks to be really, really cool. Of course, opening cargo doors front, and the ones on the other side will open as well. And the L1 door should be openable and positionable as well. Next up, we get a Hawaiian Airlines 717-200. November 491 Hotel Alpha. We saw this in a 400 scale, I think it was last month. Let me check on that. Yeah, here is the 400 scale version right here. Looks to be nice. I'm glad to see that their 717 mold in 400 scale now uses antennas. That's nice. And then finish off the set, we have 3 models that were in 400 scale recently and are coming out in 200 scale now. November 871 Hotel Kilo. This is the Desert Gold Retro. Should be a really nice model. We have the United 757-300. November 75854. That should be a nice model. And then finally we have the Virgin Atlantic A330 Neo. Golf Victor India Alpha Zulu is this registration. So that's it for this set of releases. I think they're quite interesting. Quite a bit of unique models in here that are going to be very popular, I think. It's fairly typical Gemini territory with the sort of models they made. But there's one that I'm for sure going to pick up. That's the United 764. So I'll probably end up also picking up the 2 Deltas later on down the line as well, as I do pick up every Delta model. And I might consider the Alaska Max 9 from the company store for just $20. So that's basically it for this video. I want to know what your thoughts on these releases are. I do apologize for the video coming out a day late, but just sort of is what it is. Having to work afternoons now. It is what it is. And that means often my release videos will end up having to come out the following day. So that's basically it for this video. For those of you who are looking for that Spirit Trip port, that will be coming out tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. That one's up, ready to go. So you'll see the Spirit inaugurate through 21 Neo Trip port tomorrow. I'm looking forward to posting that for y'all. So that's it. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and God bless you.